My name is Jen, and I am on a journey in order to break free from the destructive patterns of disordered eating and in order to embrace a nourishing lifestyle. My roadmap can be described using an acronym of the word Nourisher. So I'm doing daily video blog posts in order to encourage you, equip you, and keep you up to date on my progress. If this content is helpful or encouraging to you, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing with others. It is my deep desire that these videos would help to ignite nourishing transformations in us all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Nourisher Check-In. I just woke up. My kids are still asleep, and I just wanted to sneak in a quick Nourisher Check-In because I have really missed you and really missed checking in. And the last time I checked in was right after my very symbolic mountain climb. So thank you so much for checking out that check-in video and for all of your love and support. I'm still, kind of embracing the adrenaline and the excitement of that climb and what it was like to be able to do a climb and just enjoy it and be in tune with my body the whole time and do it for the sake of doing it and embracing the journey rather than needing to have a black and white goal and being filled with shame if I didn't meet the goal, etc., etc. So that was really great. And then shortly after that, my husband has departed on a business trip, which for those of you who have done any travel during COVID, is a little bit of a crazy whirlwind to try to get prepared for. And now I am home alone with the kids, and I just want to send out my huge kudos to all single parents out there. I just feel like I am going from the second that I wake up until probably even past when I go to sleep, and it is just so busy. And so I really am trying to figure out, how do I embrace nourishing myself when I'm spending so much time nourishing and keeping up to and refereeing for my three beautiful little girls. And it's just really hard. And you know what I noticed? I had to drive my husband to the airport, which is like 3 hours away. But typically I would have put him on a bus. But because of COVID, nobody's going to the airport these days. So they canceled the bus. So anyway, that was a big day of, arranging childcare and driving back and forth and arranging COVID tests and blah, blah, blah. So, but the second that I dropped him off, literally, let me back up. The night before he left on his trip, I went to sleep at 3:30 in the morning once we were kind of finally ready. And I set my alarm for 4:30 in the morning. So I'm already going into this trip like very sleep deprived. Oh, my body remembers what that felt like. And then the second I dropped him off at the airport, I was just consumed with food thoughts. The first thing that I realized was, wow, this hasn't happened for a while. It hasn't happened for a while where I'm just like, there's like this map in my brain plotting, where is the food? How can I get it? How can I eat as much of it as quickly as possible? And that used to be just like so much of my constant, my brain was just constantly bombarded with those kind of thoughts. And so that was really cool to realize, hey, like my brain isn't consumed by the disordered eating mindset anymore. But man, it was back with a vengeance that day. And I think it was such a combination of my husband leaving and just feeling the weight and the responsibility of that, and also being like so incredibly physically exhausted. So I had to sit at the side of the road and say like, okay, like what, like eating disorder, you're coming to the forefront here. You're trying to help me regulate these emotions that I don't even feel like I'm feeling any emotions right now. So let's stop, tune into myself, tune into God with my channel in prayer, and just say, okay, whoa, what am I feeling right now that I'm not aware of, that my body is trying to manage by obsessing about food? And that was very helpful to notice those emotions. Like, it seems like a really crazy step, but it's so critical, and one that I need to continue to develop mental muscle in, is learning how to even notice if I'm feeling something. And then how do I say that out loud? So, and manage those emotions. So since that day, I have just noticed every day, it's not as intense as it was in that moment, but since my husband left, my cravings have been really big. And yeah, I've just been trying to nourish myself. I even just made some bone broth kind of for extra nourishment. I've been drinking some juice to keep my blood sugars up. I can't drink just straight juice. It spikes my blood sugar too high. It makes me feel yucky. So I dilute it with hot water, cold water, sparkling water or something, and add essential oils to it. Be really careful with essential oil. Make sure that you know what you're doing, or have a professional help you with that, because it can be really dangerous. But anyway, this all to say, I've just been trying to, I'm like overwhelmed by dishes. Where we live in Asia, and we don't have a dishwasher. And I just feel like I'm just like doing dishes or laundry 24/7. Like, my house was like a bomb went off after my husband left because of, everything that was happening. And I literally spent 2 full days just doing laundry and dishes, and I still wasn't caught up. And so, yeah, I just feel a little buried, and I feel tired, and I'm enjoying the time with the kids, but I feel like I'm so intense with them, and I'm so sharp with them, and I'm so quick to shame them when they make a mistake rather than nurture them. So, yeah, just really, really needing to take lots of deep breaths, and really wanting to connect with them in rest and in kind of mutual delight apart from a screen, and that's been really challenging. So, and it seems like time to open up to others has been non-existent. So that's a little bit tricky. So I'm really noticing the cycle, in that I'm not noticing the desire to restrict at all. I'm just really noticing the desire to binge, and trying to keep that in check. And the next few days, I'm actually driving 7 hours away with my daughters to go and visit some loved ones. And we live in a culture here that there's hardly any food allergies or food sensitivities, at least that people embrace or are aware of. So it's to go and eat in restaurants is almost impossible to avoid the things that make my body react, with things like eczema and excess gas and stomach pain and that kind of thing. So we're going away for 3 or 4 days, and I'm just like feeling wow heading into it, knowing that I'm probably not going to be able to avoid those foods, and I'm afraid at kind of how my body and mind is going to respond to possibly just diving into foods that aren't aligned with my values of how I care for myself and how I feel my best. So a little bit afraid about that, but really looking forward to having the support of these loved ones, and we're going to be by the ocean. So being by the ocean with my girls. So, but of course, packing and doing a big drive by myself. So actually, we postponed the trip by a day just so I could have an extra day to rest, because that's really, when it comes to rewiring my brain, what my brain needs right now is to learn how to say no, to learn how to take it easy, to learn how to just go at a moderate pace rather than thinking I've got to get everything done. So that's been helpful. That was a big step for me too. And we invited some folks to come over for supper last night, and the gal said, "Oh, you know what? We're going away over the long weekend, so it'll be too much for me to be out tonight. I just want to stay home." And I thought, wow, that was a really good example for me to read her say that, just to ask to state what she needed with such confidence and grace. So that was a great example for me. Examples are so helpful when we have examples of people around us. So that was really helpful. And, insulin-friendly eating, like I said, I'm just trying to continue to nourish by the clock, because my cravings are out of whack. And sleep, actually, this will sound bad, but my sleep has been better. Short stints, so maybe like 6 hours at a time, but that's better than 3 or 4. But it's been better since my husband left.
And that may be a little bit about the way that we interplay and our work schedules kind of wake each other up and that kind of thing. So, or just because I'm just so incredibly exhausted that my body will actually let me sleep. I don't know. But sleep has been a little bit better. Hydration has been pretty good. And exercise, after the climb, I did get out for another walk with stiff legs. But then yesterday we had a tropical storm roll through, so I didn't get any exercise yesterday. Today, I'll see if I can get out for a walk with the girls, and then tomorrow I'll be driving all day. So, yeah, really wanting to, already looking forward to the next day when I can get out for one of my walks. So, my reward right now is going to be not falling back into massive binge. A reward is going to be able to embrace food that I know isn't a best option for me, knowing that having a little bit of it doesn't mean that I fall off a cliff into this food abyss and all of a sudden the food controls me rather than me, choosing the food. And I think the big reward for me right now is just realizing that, hey, I'm experiencing a little bit more of this. It's like there's a highlighter on my brain that's highlighting all the food, and that's starting to take over a little bit more mental capacity. But you know what? That has not been happening recently. And I'm so grateful that I'm living in that reward right now, is not being consumed moment by food, because it is so horrible to have so much of your time, your brain space, your mental energy consumed with food. Either it's avoidance or it's consumption. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to this community for the release the freedom I've been experiencing from the tyranny of the eating disorder. So thank you for joining me in my journey. Thank you for letting me check in, with sleep in my eyes and hair unbrushed. And yeah, it's just so good to be with you in the rawness of life and the rawness of the days. And so I hope I can check in with you again when I'm at the ocean. But if not, know that I am wishing you a very, very nourishing day. Bye for now.